Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins for the Yongsan Gardens for the Fall Major Tournament here in Golf Clash the Game. Before we take a closer look, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button on the video and also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that do want to have the best guys on the market for tour play and or tournament play, you scan the QR code here on the screen or you type in patreon.com/golfclashtommy in your browser, select your package and sign up and you will get immediate access. Info box on the right hand side for the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions, and as this is a completely new course, I'm trying to be very vocal on different ways of playing. It doesn't just have to be the one that I display on a video, because if we could be here the whole day, obviously, if that would be the case. So I'm trying to give you my best suggestions, having better clubs, worse clubs, or just the clubs I'm having here in the video and stuff like that. So let me know if there is any questions. You can always use the comment section below and I will do my very best to give you an answer there. Now let's go to hole number one. For hole number one of the Yongsan Gardens, we're gonna play with our sniper. I'm playing this with a quasar ball, as I do want to have a little bit of side spin. So you can see here now that I'm using the 2 right spin. I'm also using 1.8 top spin, leaving the ball guideline slightly short of pin. Sure, as you can see, there are many opportunities, or let's say possibilities, when it comes to this par 3, as you can bounce before the water like I'm doing. You can also bounce with your first bounce after the water if you in any way are concerned about that water. But as there are so much room to bounce on the fairway before and after, I do believe that this is going to be the more consistent and better way to attack the pin for an hole-in-one. I play in the video max plus 20, whereof I should be playing it max plus 25, but that's because obviously we're counteracting the wind. I would say that the true elevation here is going to be 15% from front tee. On hole number 2, it seems obviously very open on the left hand side, but I value the right hand side, and I think this is the way to go regardless what wind direction you do have off tee. And I will explain. We're gonna use 4.5 top spin, 2 left spin, aiming center down the fairway, and adjustment is max no elevation, as this one is more or less entirely flat when it comes to looking at where our tee box is compared to where the first bounce is gonna be. Center the ball, hit perfect. I'm using a Kingmaker here, not that it's a must. You can use a Titan as well. I do, however, want to play with a P3 ball, as I do have Sniper 7. If I would be having Sniper 9 or 10, I would be having then more power, which would allow me to play with a ball that do have power 2 or maybe even power 1. So the second shot here now is very interesting. We're gonna play a rough bump from distance. You know me, I love rough bumps, and this rough bump especially because you have so much rough that it's more or less impossible to miss it. But I'm gonna try to catch this little sticky spot, or funnel as we call it, by using some left spin, trying to get into this spot here. You can see the more right I move, the more sticky it becomes. So I'm using a little bit more left spin to move myself a little bit more right with my target, aiming with the ball guideline into the hole, and not entirely into that sticky spot, but it will have to do for this time. 10% elevation, true club distance here, and I am a little bit under adjusted. Once if we would be having a better adjustment, this would have been in for an albatross. And to go back to that, I value the right hand side over the left. It's because it's just a simple and consistent way. We can play a drive without any overpower needed, and we can get ourselves into a spot where we always have a sniper to pin, which is an accurate, very accurate club, which will help us to attack this pin for an albatross in a consistent basis. On the drive here on hole number 3, we can either play left or we can play right. The important part with both of the sides is that you need to get the ball past the trees so you do have an open view towards the pin. In this instance, with the wind coming left to right, I value to play on the left hand side, this as it will give me more or less a straight tailwind on the second shot, and I believe that's easier to play in instead of going on the right hand side, which would give me a more or less a straight crosswind. So that's kind of how I'm trying to think here, but obviously it's all about what you feel comfortable with. The left side fairway is a bit more narrow compared to the right side fairway, and also the left hand fairway take you slightly closer to pin on your second shot, whereof on the right hand side it takes you a little bit further away. So there is good, there is bad things, or pros and cons with both of the sides. Simple drive, max plus 10, a little bit of backspin, a little bit of side spin, and we are at 312. Now, second shot, we're going to play with our wedge. And here I say, once again, play with a wedge that gives you a good ball guideline. Obviously, a good accuracy is very helpful. So for those having the possibility to play with the end bringer, it's definitely in a big advantage over others, because you can see me here now. I do aim accurately, I do adjust accurately, but I do hit great. And with such a low accuracy, not low, but semi-low accuracy on the Firefly, it will end up missing where a great ball should be missing. And that is obviously something we can't really say much about. That's just how it is if we can't hit perfect. But hole number 3 offers a good chance for an eagle. For hole number 4, we are going to play a rough bump, and here from front tee we are using our long iron. Here it is important to play with the Goliath or with a low level B52. Why? It's because we do need the power on our club. Leaving the ball guideline approximately 2 green squares short of pin, using 1.5 bar topspin, 3 left spin. The reason I'm leaving it short of pin, it's because Goliath do not have a good ball guideline, and to not come in too hot, I need to leave the ball guideline short. Medium distance with a 20% over adjustment is what I'm using here in this video, and a perfect ball here will nicely hit the rough and roll up towards the pin. Sure, you can bounce on the fairway before the bunker or even after the bunker if you would like, but if you want to have the best chance for an hole-in-one, then this is the way to play on hole number 4 of the Yongsan Gardens. On hole number 5, we do have a short par 4 to play. If we do have a crosswind or a tailwind, we shall be pushing to try to get the ball over to the final fairway like that, and then we can definitely go for the hole in a we can definitely go for the pin. But now we're going to have to settle and play for the final fairway island and bounce ourselves up towards the green for a simple wedge. Obviously, having more topspin, apply a little bit more topspin, as 4.5 is a little bit on the low side when it comes to the extra mile. But this is the best driver I do have on this account. Maximum distance plus 10 is what I'm using here from front tee, and I would say playing this type of play, a power 5 ball may not be required, but in general I would say a power 5 ball will be very helpful to always have the distance to reach. Now we're over to the final fairway, and we will take ourselves a short and sweet eagle wedge, which we're gonna take a look at here in the end. So here I would say, when it comes to the wedges, and I say this every time I do make a playthrough for those of you that are playing in rookie divisions, choose a wedge that do have a good ball guideline, because it will help you a lot in doing shots like this, where we can do with the Firefly with all the topspin, but most especially helps you with knowing if you're aiming correct or not. Because having a very poor ball guideline is very easy to aim too short or too long, and that will make it come in short in line or maybe hot and hit the pin and bounce out. Now we have a good ball guideline, then the eagle becomes very easy. On the drive here, you will notice me looking around a little bit to see what would be the best option here. And sure, we have a very open fairway on the left, we have an open fairway on the right, but we need to be a little bit smarter than that, because obviously we need to be realistic and think here now, okay, if I'm gonna push the ball far down the fairway, either left or right side, we need to find ourselves a way to either play through the trees or above the trees. And the closer we have the ball, the closer we are to the trees, the harder it will be to play over and through. So what I'm doing here is that I'm playing max plus 20, and I'm using 4.5 topspin and 2 right spin, using some overpower to compensate because I do not want to adjust down the water. And now we are centered down the fairway, and we're actually going to use the fairway path that goes to the pin. It may look like something that is just like a way to get to green and just take the eagle and move on, but I chose this video instead of choosing another one with a drop, but I chose this video to demonstrate how big this sticky spot is that we're gonna play into. Now, obviously, having a headwind, we are going to ensure that we are going to see our target all the way. We do want to obviously have a clear ball guideline. So you can see here now me moving there. Look at that sticky spot. Look how big that is. And it's not just to have a sticky spot and it's automatically gonna go into the hole. Now when having headwind, what's gonna happen is that the ball guideline will be compressed and it should miss left, which is also what it does here in this video, which is something I mistakenly didn't correct for. So here we would be better off aiming on the right side to compensate for that. 10% elevation, true club distance gonna be somewhere between medium and maximum distance. And again, just have that said as well, we don't need to play with a kingmaker here, but obviously the side spin is very helpful. Comes in too hot and left, but you saw the sticky spot there. That's what we're looking for, and that will be very helpful as getting this albatross on a general basis. On hole number 7, we are going for pin, especially from the front tee. Here we're using a power 5 ball, and we're using 2 left spin, and we're using 2 back spin. Aiming to where I do believe we are aiming for the pin. It's obviously difficult when we do not have a good good ball guideline on our extra mile. Look at that view, by the way. It's I must say this is probably the most insane course insane hole I've ever played in Golf Clash, based off the design. Maximum distance with a 30% elevation. We're playing massively downhill, which is the only tricky part when it comes to this hole. And now we're basically playing this par 4 as a par 3, where there will be people making and holding 1. So nice, simple eagle on hole 7. So on hole number 9 here, this is a very interesting par 5, where with a good tailwind, we are most definitely able to send this ball to green, or to be close to green, either using the right hand fairway on the top right, or the center using those fairway islands to use a topspin boost ball and bounce it down there, depending on, once again, what tee box you're playing, also what type of ball and clubs you're having. However, we are kind of stuck here now with our extra mile. So I'm going to try to find a way of laying up, which would in the end become a way of playing if we do not have a tailwind of tee. So I'm gonna lay up on the very far left, as I'm restricted to 4.5 topspin, can't use more than that. Adjustment is gonna be max plus 20 from here. And I'm using a power 5 ball mainly for the second shot, not so much for the drive. Perfect ball it is, and we are looking to get as far down the fairway possible, obviously without risking too much, because it is easy with pushing too hard and then might just be poor execution and we roll into the rough. Now, second shot from here is not the best I've done in my life, but at least it displays the idea with this type of play, which is, number 1, you can go for a rough bump. I believe that the rough bump is the best way to play this shot. However, you will have to have a sniper 8, or you have to have a big dog or cataclysm to allow yourself to have more topspin. if playing this one in slight headwind. Because if playing this one, even if aiming through the hole, we will not have speed enough to get to the hole, and it will then curve off to the right once it loses speed. You can obviously bounce on the fairway as well as the second alternative here. That would be, I would say, a tougher one to drop consistently, but it will obviously remove any sort of risk that you may feel with this type of rough bump. I personally don't feel any risk with this rough bump, but I know there are people watching here that do feel that rough bump takes an unnecessary risk and might just be interested in locking in the eagle and move on. And that's totally fine. You can see here now that we're not having speed enough. It curves off to the right, but the line was good and we just need more topspin. So hole number 9, many different ways I believe we can play this hole on. And it's going to be very interesting to see this in the tournament, but also if this course happen to be in tour play in the future as well, to then see what way we can play this hole. For hole number 9, we're gonna play another rough bump, and here obviously you can see now we're playing from front tee obviously, but playing from different tee boxes will be making it pretty difficult from second and third tee, whereof the front tee here is actually fairly simple. I'm using 6 topspin, 1 right spin, ball guideline to be once again short of pin, as I'm not having a fully developed ball guideline. So approximately 1 green square short of pin is where I'm ending up to do in the end. So I'm playing medium distance with a 5% elevation, and playing with a navigator here just to reduce the wind as much as I can, but still keep obviously it completely free to play. Perfect ball it is, and you can see here that we do have a lot of room on this rough to bounce, and it rolls up the green and getting in the hole for a lovely hole-in-one here on hole number 9. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins for the Yongsan Gardens here for the Fall Major Tournament in Golf Clash the Game. And wow, what a beautiful course we are going to play. Some of the backgrounds is absolutely amazing. And it's gonna be very exciting to play with the tournament wind once the tournament starts. Make sure to subscribe to any of our tournament guide packages we offer for Pro, Expert and Master, and if you are a tour player you can also get tour play guides there as well, and you can bundle it together. I mean, there's many different ways, so make sure to scan the QR code or go to patreon.com/golfclashtommy. If you would be so kind, please hit thumbs up here on the video, that helps a lot. Thank you so much once again for watching. Good luck in your Golf Clash game.